not streaming, we'll have to have IT. We'll have IT posted after the fact.
Okay. So you ready?
Yes, give me a minute.
Welcome everyone to the March 26th installment of the UIDRB. City staff ready to be sworn in? Do
Yes,
you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
Thank you. You want to call the roll?
Yes. Keone, we're waiting on him. Ms. Parker,
Yes.
Mr. Reeds,
Yes.
Mr. Sublett,
Yes.
and Mr. Mather.
Yes.
Perfect. We've got a quorum. All right.
We don't need to do an overview of the meeting format, do we? Steph, Nadine.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. We have anyone here from the visiting public that would like to speak to a case, aside from something you're already on the agenda? No? Okay. Meeting minutes? Last month's? Everyone get to review the meeting? Okay. Actually, you know what? I was not here, so we cannot until Keone
We have
gets
to
here.
wait for Keone.
Was
Okay.
he here last month?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, we'll take care of it later then.
Okay.
First one, you ready?
And
That's me.
I'll have Stephanie.
COA 2500 935 1471 Michigan Avenue.
Yep. All right, our first case is COA 25-00935 for 1471 Michigan Avenue. The applicant is requesting action on a proposed solution to return the cornice line of his home back closer to its original condition prior to the removal of stop gutters. The applicant has identified 3 potential solutions. Number 1, a replacement gutter system with an enhanced profile detail. You can see that in the packet from WGC. Number 2 is a new 5-inch K-style gutter that wraps the eyebrows of the house. That is from the roof detective quote. And then the third option was new 6-inch K-style gutters that wrap the eyebrows of the house, but also include new vinyl soffits with aluminum fascia. That's from Columbus Gutters and More. Details, including the cost on each of those, are included in the materials. Nadine is scrolling through those. As far as the staff analysis, this proposal originally came before the board at the September 2025 meeting. Let the record reflect that Keone is here at 4:08. This proposal originally came before the board at the September 2025 meeting, at which time the board was sympathetic to the applicant but expressed concern over precedent, noting that the plan's recommendations for slate roof and character-defining features to be preserved where possible, as well as recent non-support for a request to remove box gutters. The board suggested rebuilding any box gutters as a potential remediation and noted requesting the applicant to replace the roof with slate was not reasonable. The application was denied. Approved minutes from the September 2025 hearing can be found at the hyperlink on the website. As a result of the denial, the applicant requested a rehearing by the UIDRB on the basis of economic hardship per City Code sections 3116 and 3118-06A3. At the December 2025 rehearing, the board continued the application with the following clarifications. The board was not asking the applicant to re-roof the roof or put stop gutters back on. They requested the applicant identify a solution or solutions to return the cornice line back closer to its original condition and then return to the board for further review. The approved minutes of the December 2025 hearing can be found at the hyperlink provided. With that, the University District Plan recommends the preservation of original character-defining features. The original unapproved alterations to the building are not consistent with this guideline. However, the plan also recommends the use of building materials that provide visual interest and texture to the building. While the original alterations removed character-defining features at the cornice line, option number 2 that is being presented today, if installed to match the trim color, would more closely emulate the historic detail that was removed, making this proposal more consistent with the guidelines. Option number 1 may be more ornate than what was there originally, while option number 3 includes the replacement of additional historic materials. As such, staff would recommend approval of option number 2 in accordance with City Code 3116C, on the conditions that the replacement gutters be almond color to match the existing fascia, and that the replacement of any additional wood elements, the fascia, soffits, etc., if needed, be in like kind and painted to match existing. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have an image, Nadine, of option 2?
There's not, I kept scrolling.
No, there's not, but the one for option 3,
Similar?
it's similar, so it's going to be new K-style gutters, but they're going to wrap the front and then the return. This option just also shows the new vinyl soffits and aluminum fascia, so that would not be a part of option 2. But the gutter style that wraps around the front,
Okay. So
that
it will
would-
return like
Yeah.
this? Okay. Is the applicant here? Would you like to step up? You just said, yeah. I do need to swear you in, though. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Very good. Do you like to add anything to the city's overview?
No, I think that was pretty thorough.
Okay, thank you. We'll let the architects dig into this.
Can we see the original house photo just one more time? The one with a note on it that says, "We will do this." Yeah. So for the soffit, there's going to be new woodwork installed to recreate the soffit, is that correct?
I think Columbus Gutters and More was proposing to put the final soffit underneath.
Okay,
I did put my own small rectangular soffits. I admit they look pretty utilitarian, so
okay.
so that could be an option. Otherwise, it's not part of the other proposal where both of them are K-style gutters that wrap around the eyebrows.
Can you go to the option 2 list of materials? It's hard for me to tell what's happening. Can you back to the picture? Can you go actually down to the porch one? That one. So is this there now?
Yes, that's just a small rectangular soffit.
It's still there.
It's still there.
You
Okay.
can, in the previous materials, it would be towards the end. There are pictures showing the soffit vents that were added as a part of the unapproved work. Oh, bother.
No, it doesn't.
You maybe open it from the folder. Yeah. It's, make sure you open the right material, so it's the website one, yeah. And go to the end. Oh, go up a little bit. Up, up right there. Yeah.
So the existing soffit is painted wood?
Yes,
Okay.
just solid. Mhm.
And so there, in the option 2, the staff was recommending, there is no mention of needing to do anything to the soffits, but that's why we wanted to add the condition that if they get in there and additional wood needs replaced, that it match what's there.
I
And
think
like,
this is not my own fault. I just forgot the previous application and what was said and not said. So I guess my only thing would be, how deep is the K or the new gutter? And is it close in dimension to the soffit? Because if it's too small, it's going to look stuck on. It won't look truly architectural. Does that
Mhm.
make sense?
So you're referring to the height.
Yeah. Because that soffit, vertical soffit on the end, the wood that's still there, and this is the house over here. And then they're gonna put the gutter out here. I want the gutter to be
Covering the
relatively
soffit.
equal vertical height as that vertical plane.
Can you go to
I know, but it would-
picture, the existing pictures towards the end?
that is the original? That's just an add-on at some point.
Yeah, this is before he replaced it. If you're-
Further.
Yeah, you can,
Yeah.
basically the trim was half the height of the fascia.
Yeah.
There must have been this all the way around.
Yeah, I think some previous homeowner removed it to put in the gutter.
So that's
Yeah.
what, this picture shows the gutter that he installed.
That the one he
On-
installed or?
So does this, sorry,
Oh, yeah, I guess.
does this exist?
Yeah, that was original, and that's what was removed so that he could install, so that when he installed this K-style gutter, this was along the side, but it was removed.
Right.
And so that was the suggestion that he pursue solutions to try to come up with something that is going to more seamlessly.
Kind of look like it.
Yeah.
Option 2 makes sense to me, and I agree with the staff report entirely. I'm just trying to figure out what's what again.
Yeah,
Can you show me the current condition?
that photo.
That first one. This one? This is.
I can't tell where that picture is.
So yeah, that piece of wood does exist.
Well, yeah.
The current photos are the ones that are at the end that we were just looking at. Those are the ones that he submitted after he did his work. I don't know when those inspection photos, if those are just street view that are old.
Which one?
Go. Yeah, like that is current, that shows his soffit vents, and the one below that shows the gutter. Only on the sides, he didn't wrap the front of them. Yeah. Down.
Oh, up front?
No, not at the front,
Yes,
just that's, these two pictures are the current existing condition.
So option 2 is just replacing the gutters that he installed.
Yes, and some to
The wrap.
do that.
Wrapping it around
Yeah.
the front and mitering it.
Yeah.
So in option 2, how tall is the gutter? We don't know.
I would imagine it's
4 inches?
probably the same, it's probably standard 5-inch K-style gutter height,
Okay.
right? But that's, I think the 5-inch, I think that's the depth. I don't know what the height of a 5-inch gutter is. The other thing is the color, at least as far as the condition that we're recommending, so that it, for someone who doesn't know, it's gonna look like,
So any exposed fascia would match the gutter color
yes.
and the soffit color.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and at that point, the height doesn't matter. I mean, that trim that was
It's
there,
less decorative.
less decorative.
Yeah.
That trim that was there is smaller than that vertical face that I was talking about anyway. So it's gonna look more like that. This is fine. I'm fine. I'm fine with it. I'm good. I got there.
Keone?
I think I'm a record at totally not caring about this at all. I think, Tim, how do you feel?
I think these staff recommendations were well done, and the care that you take that everything be painted to match, is certainly a point well taken.
And lastly, I know that it's been a long time kind of going back and forth, and I know you had to submit a ton of information. Obviously, we just want to make sure that we're not setting a type of example for anybody else to be able to clear things and add things without kind of bringing it to our attention first. So I know that this has taken a lot of time, and I appreciate you going and getting these quotes, and I agree with the board on just making sure that it matches, and hopefully it's something that's lesson learned for sure.
Sure, thank you.
My only comment is call the roll.
Yeah.
We need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Is that, timeout, is that
Yes.
a motion for a conditional approval with the,
What was the condition?
That they need to match the olive.
the
Olive.
conditions we recommended were the replacement gutters to be almond color, and that any additional wood elements that are replaced be in like kind and painted to match existing.
Did we specify option 2 as well?
Yes, please.
We need to re-motion or that we kind of got it into the.
Let's make a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve option 2 with the staff comments about color matching.
And I'll second.
Mr. Fleming,
Yes.
Ms. Parker,
Yes.
Mr. Reed.
Yes.
Mr. Sublette.
Yes.
And Mr. Rabbit.
Yes.
Perfect.
Thanks,
Thank
sir.
Thank you so much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, we can.
Do you guys want to circle back to the staff approval?
Thank you,
Well, I
Jamie.
mean, meeting minutes?
Yes, or the meeting is not the staff. Yes. Of February.
Oh, did you know?
I wasn't here, so we had to wait till you, yeah.
Motion to approve.
Second.
So motion by Ms. Parker, second by Mr. Sublette. Mr. Fleming,
Yes.
Ms. Parker,
Yes.
Mr. Reed, you have to.
Abstain?
Mr. Sublette,
Yes.
Mr. Rabbit.
Yes.
Perfect. It's been approved.
Moving swiftly to COA 2600-193, 1576 North High Street.
Too swiftly. Second. Okay. we are doing-
It's like stage direction, moving swiftly.
All right. This is application COA 26-00193 for 1576 North High Street. This is a request for action for exterior building alterations. The applicant is requesting review and action on expanded patio. The scope of the work includes new 38-inch black aluminum railing, expanding existing patio on the west elevation. Let me try and show that. Right there. And additional patio space along the south elevation, and installation of 2 TV monitors on the south elevation for new patio space. The submission includes floor, site plan, and railing design. Staff analysis is the University District Plan recommends a variety of uses on the site. The use of high-quality materials and the outdoor dining should be compatible with the design of the associated structure. The proposal is consistent with these guidelines. However, the plan also states that television screens are not appropriate in outdoor dining areas. The proposal is not consistent within these guidelines. As such, staff recommends conditional support, with the condition being the removal of the television screens from the patio space. And I'll just scroll through these. And then we did, I sent an email. We did get the letter from the landlord stating that they do have ownership of the additional gazebo space, just because we were a little back and forth on them, so. This is the far right.
Do they include like the top view again to kind of show the,
Oh, yes, sorry. There we
oh,
go.
there it is. Okay.
Let me zoom out a little bit. Got that, and then the added railing on this side.
So they kept in that railing in between like that.
This, yes. Okay. They just got rid of anything that they were doing with the gazebo originally. But then they opened this up, so originally it was closed off with a gate, so they opened this, but then they bumped out this, gave it additional spacing here. And then the 2 TV monitors right here.
Applicants here, right?
At the extent of your review, is the applicant present? Hello. See you all again.
That's
You as
the,
well. I need to swear you in. Do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do. Very good. Do you have anything you'd like to add?
On the TVs, that's been a hot topic. I just wanted to let you know that the TVs would actually be hid by the gazebo, so nobody at the stoplights will be able to see them. They're going to be roughly about 12 feet in. I don't know if that was one of the concerns was people be sitting at the light. Go Ohio State. And then they also said they originally were going for a 65-inch TV. They said if you guys would approve it and wanted to go down to a 50 or 55, they would do that as well.
Okay.
And then the patio, we redesigned it due to the concerns from the last meeting. because where that angle is was originally where the
Mhm.
gate was and
Yes,
everybody
right.
funneled.
Yeah,
it
we
just
did.
there.
Sorry, go ahead, say it again.
Sorry. So where the angle is was originally where the gate was and there was going to be sliding planters. So we did away with that and gave a bigger entrance because that was one of the concerns y'all brought up about having it in the patio and then the entrance as well. So that's why we went with the gates on each side of the patio. The only thing missing is they are going to have another two-seater in that area. So that big blank space there
Yep.
is actually going to be another table, be a two-seater. So.
Okay.
And I was on site earlier today and where the tree is back there at the far right. So the space that's right beside it is actually being taken over by the bar right beside this one. And they just lined up planters all the way to the tree.
Oh, nice.
So I took pictures if y'all want to see it too. So
Were the planters movable?
no, they weren't.
Too big?
They were solid. So, I don't know if Steiner did that or what, because they weren't there when I was there 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then I showed up today and they had just put fresh
Wow.
flowers in. So, so then there's a little chain link that is right by the tree and now planters. I brought the letter. I don't know if you guys wanted a copy of it for everybody or not about the gazebo being a part of it.
We did, we sent it.
Yeah.
And then the other concern was the spacing between the gazebo and the patio railing. So you're going to have 5'2" along the straightaway, and then it'll go down to 4'5" right there. But again, with the planters and everything, and that little 3-piece chain link fence there, if they want to, they're going to have to dive in to the gazebo if they want to go that way anyway. So.
And that was the reason we had them provide the letter, was because we wanted to confirm that that gazebo space was going to be used by Doghouse. So it's really all their space, if that matters for what that distance is, if it's a pinch point or not.
I mean, they could configure it to just capture the gazebo then if they wanted to. I mean, in some ways, I don't really care. Like, I mean, that whole area is a bit of a mess. They're struggling to make it all work financially. Incrementally over time, they've been cluttering stuff in the alley because, as it turns out, putting stuff off the public right away doesn't make for a great business strategy. I mean, my perspective is you should be able to get to the front door of the business without going through a fence or a gate. Beyond that, like I'm fine with the configuration of the east-west patio that it is. If they wanted to extend it out and capture the entirety of the gazebo, fine too. Like, I'm probably a no on the televisions. I don't know. That's kind of my take on it.
Others?
I just in general don't like outdoor TVs. And think that if we are, I mean, we approve graphics to a certain degree of detail. So I think that we, you know, I think what's happening on the walls is important to us. And there's really, I'm not concerned about it in terms of traffic. I'm concerned about it just in terms of design. It's not an element I like on the street.
Could staff remind us what, in the staff report, what you cited in terms of the outdoor TVs, why it is not acceptable?
I lost it, sorry. We just said that, yep, right here, over there. The guidelines state, one of the points is televisions, LED displays, and amplified sounds are not appropriate. It's really, that's it. It's just not per guidelines, that's all.
Thanks.
So it's a sound concern?
It just says LED lights, amplified sound, and televisions are just not appropriate. So it put in also like
Yeah.
display and sound.
It's just aesthetic. It just sort of.
Yeah, all this is basically going to do is just have the games on.
Yeah.
You're not really going to be able to hear them. So, because there's actually, you're going to have music from the Mexican restaurant, and then there's more music down by Jimmy John's. So having the TVs on are going to be absolutely.
I mean, the fact is, if the weather's nice and the doors are open, you can hear everything that's going on, you know, all the TVs and all the rackets. So it's like, I kind of know by the sound thing, but
I think it's more just a question of what's the level of appropriate,
yeah.
you know, visual distraction in the public realm, and it's entirely subjective, right? Because like, you look at the corner of Broad and High, there's like all those
Video screen.
shitty LED screens on the corner of that building. So it's like, you know, do you feel like that's a positive contribution to the urban environment or a negative one? It's,
I think you're right, it is subjective.
Well, and I mean, certainly you all can, you know, decide what you will, but we just wanted to share what, and make our recommendation based on what the guidelines say.
I am wondering if you said that it's like a sticking point for the people who are putting this restaurant in, could they come up with a solution to hide the screen a little bit better? So then that way the people, I know you said that if somebody, that it will be covered by the,
Gazebo.
yeah, by the gazebo, but really from our standpoint, we don't know that. So if you could show that it would be not really visible to anybody walking by, like maybe a perspective from somebody standing and looking that way, then I think that you could sway us on that. Other than that, I think moving the entrance is great. And if you think it would be smarter to come back with better designs on how to hide the TV, if it's something that your owner really wants, then.
No, that's more corporate than anything.
Oh.
But you know, they already know, I already forewarned them that you guys were pretty much, there's nobody else in that area that has a TV. So I was like, you know, that's obviously, it's in their guidelines, no TVs. So.
Yeah, right.
So they're all set, whether they just want me to bring it up again. I know the last time a gentleman asked about, you know, well, obviously the people at the bar aren't going to be able to see it. Is it more for the gazebo? And the old house came back and said, yeah, it's mainly for the gazebo of, you know, if there's a bunch of folks gathering to
Party or
watch the game. I was like, well, if
Yeah.
there's a lot of folks gathered, they're going to be inside watching it because they want to hear exactly what's going on. So.
That's true too.
But you wouldn't restrict its use to game days.
I was just
Yeah.
going to suggest that we're holding on to.
Because they're going to use the gazebo for birthday parties and stuff already. So, well, if that party's going on, they're not going to pay attention to those TVs. They're going to be paying attention to who's here doing what.
Yeah, sure. Sure. To me, honestly, the TV aspect wasn't really the biggest hangup for me, mostly because I really just wanted that space to be filled with a business and I wanted people to go there and the encouragement of that. So I would be open to having a TV if it could be screened in some sort of way from the other people. But I am all for the entrance and, you know, happy to move it along if needed.
I think I would vote against the TV just because I don't want to say yes on this occasion and then some other application comes
Come
along.
right back
or
around.
Prominent location and we're sort of hand tied or our hands are tied and we feel like we have to approve it. Also, the business is not going to live or die on the
Because
presence
of
of
the
those
TV.
TVs.
No.
That is
definitely
true.
not.
So I would just say no. As much as I want to give it to them, I would say no.
That's true.
Do we have a motion?
they're looking for
A conditional.
approval on the submitted site plan. So basically, the approval is for the patio, the changes to the patio boundaries, and then whether or not the TVs are included. Is that right?
Correct.
Mhm.
Okay. I move to approve the submission with the following qualifications. The revised boundaries to the patio are accepted as shown on the revised site plan. The exterior mounted televisions are not improved and should be removed from the submission.
Could you repeat that, CUNY? I'm sorry.
Yeah, the site plan's approved with the boundaries of the patio as shown on the site plan. The exterior televisions are not approved.
thank
They
you.
should be removed.
It's just a matter of volume.
Yeah,
I just
no,
didn't hear you. It
No,
wasn't,
no, you're good. No
Wasn't
worries.
clarity.
Yeah, no worries.
I'll second.
All right. That was a motion by Mr. Fleming, seconded by Mr. Reeds. Mr. Fleming,
Yes.
Ms. Parker,
Yes.
Mr. Reeds.
Yes.
Mr. Sublett.
Yes.
And Mr. Mather.
Yes.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
Have a good one.
You too.
Okay. All right, so.
Takes us to 2650 North High Street.
Mhm. So we've got COA 26000169, 2650 North High Street. It's a request for action for exterior building alteration and landscaping. So let me just zoom out here a little bit. The applicant is requesting review and action on exterior building alterations to an existing commercial building. The scope of work includes removal of an existing roof-mounted freezer refrigeration unit, installation of a new ground-mounted FRU with a new concrete pad and full-height solid metal screening to support interior freezer and anteroom replacements, existing dumpsters to remain with installation of a new concrete pad and full-height CMU screening with solid metal gates, construction of a new concrete shipping ramp with canopy and new overhead shipping door and man door. Sorry, I'll scroll through a little bit so you guys can see. Elevations, replacement of an existing exit door, demolition and infill with masonry in like kind of an existing shipping door and exit door along the parking area, and installation of exterior lighting at the shipping area. The submission includes site plans, elevations, equipment location, and material specification. Staff notes a proposal for exterior alterations at the site was approved in 2022, but the work was not completed. Staff analysis is the proposed improvements are primarily located at the rear and service areas of the building and are intended to improve operational functionality related to refrigeration equipment and shipping access. The University District Plan encourages the screening of mechanical equipment and service functions to minimize visibility from the public. The proposed ground-mounted FRU includes screening consistent with these guidelines. Additionally, the installation of screening around the dumpster area will further improve the appearance of service functions. Let me see if I can scroll over it. I think this is just specifications. Well, actually, there we go. So here's some of the drawings. The proposed shipping ramp, canopy, and doors are located in the area intended for service access and are consistent with the operational needs of the building. Exterior lights associated with the shipping area is also appropriate for safety and functionality. The removal of previously proposed rooftop mechanical equipment reduces visual impact and eliminates the need for rooftop screening. Ground-mounted equipment that is properly screened is preferred within these service areas. Overall, the proposed improvements are consistent with the intent of the University District Plan guidelines. As such, staff recommends approval.
Is the applicant present? Yes. Step right on up. I do need to swear you in.
All right,
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Anything you'd like to add to the city's overview of the proposed?
No, I think it's complete.
Okay. Any questions of the?
I have none.
I have none.
Wonderful.
None? I need a motion.
I'll let this guy talk first.
No, it's fine. I was just making sure. I mean, I know,
You good, County?
I know the location well. That'll be an improvement. So,
Okay.
yeah, I move to approve the submission as submitted.
I'll second.
Okay, so there's a motion by Mr. Fleming, seconded by Mr. Mather. Mr. Fleming,
Yes.
Ms. Parker,
Yes.
Mr. Reeds, Mr.
Yes.
Sublett,
Yes.
Mr. Mather.
Yes.
That was the quickest.
Quick and easy.
we got.
For record.
Actually, the quickest we've ever done.
When you said moving swiftly, you meant it.
We're not messing around.
That's crazy.
It's a nice day if Harry wants to get back outside so
Right.
you can.
Work on my tan.
Yeah.
Until that storm rolls in.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, so that leaves us with our conceptual application. Let me just get that situated. 2060 North High Street.
Other conceptual applicants.
Oh,
Do you want me to do it?
Yeah.
okay. Didn't even realize.
Let me use the rest for my.
All right, little bathroom break.
Intermission.
Bring back popcorn. Aye.
Set up here or?
You guys can have a seat at the table. If you need to pull extra chairs up, you can.
What is it? Yeah, that's what I figured. All right. So we've got COA 26-00171 for 2060 North High Street, and it's conceptual review. The applicant is requesting review for construction of a new mixed-use building. The proposal includes the demolition of several potentially contributing buildings on the site, circa 1961 and 1915, as well as several more modern structures, and construction of a new 7-story mixed-use building. The proposed new building would include approximately 4,000 square feet of retail, 254 residential units, which is approximately 817 beds, and associate amenity space, as well as 241 parking spaces between underground and ground floor structured parking. Our rooftop terrace is planned for the 7th floor facing North High Street. A public plaza is also planned along the North High Street frontage. The proposal includes abandoning the existing curb cuts on North High Street as well as Tuller Street, and utilizing these existing curb cuts on, is it Framby's? Framby's Avenue and East Woodruff Avenue. No variances have been identified at this time. The submission includes a proposed site plan, floor plans, section, elevation, as well as conceptual use and massing diagrams. I will go through some of that now before we continue. So you've got the site plan. So existing site plan,
So which buildings are contributing?
I believe.
Upper right.
Order.
This one and this one. Potentially. Potentially contributing. It's just
Why we said potentially.
based on age.
Okay. That's hilarious.
That's why we specified potentially. So that's that. The application came before the board at the January 2026 meeting for conception. At the time, the board was generally supportive of redeveloping the site, but expressed concern over the proposed massing, requesting the applicant explore alternate options that would be more compatible with the surrounding neighborhood, particularly as the building moves east. The board also encouraged the applicant to think critically about the development of the retail spaces in the plaza along North High Street. In regard to historic preservation, the board expressed support for the demolition of the original Ohio Stater building upon the delivery of a HAB-site report and incorporation of an element acknowledging the history of the site in the final proposal. Further, the board encouraged the applicant to explore a proposal that preserved the potentially contributing building on the northeast corner of the site. Finally, the board recommended the inclusion of public art and additional bicycle parking. Let me scroll through a little bit more of this. Floor plans. So some of the changes that they made. Shows the section of the current design versus what it was previously designed as. Renders. Shows that step back. The property was rezoned as part of the zone in phase 1 and is now subject to the requirements of the urban core district, which includes a height limit of 12 stories or up to 16 stories with the affordability bonus. There are no code requirements to step the building down based on proximity to the 35-foot height residential districts. However, staff notes a certificate of appropriateness is required, meaning the proposal should also be consistent with the university district plan design guidelines in the context of the broader policy vision established by the city council with zoning. The proposal is somewhat consistent with the university district plan. The plan recommends a mix of uses on the site: structured parking, elimination of curb cuts, and the inclusion of public space where larger setbacks are planned. The proposal is consistent with these recommendations. However, the plan also calls for a building's height and mass to be mitigated through the use of setbacks and building articulation, quality architecture materials, specifically stating that rear elevations above 3 stories or 35 feet should be set back an additional 20 feet at minimum, and that relief should be provided where taller buildings abut sidewalks that are 5 feet or less. The revised design includes a step down and additional articulation from the previous iteration. However, staff encourages the applicant to continue exploring a design that is more compatible with the surrounding neighborhood, specifically on the east and south elevations, as previously requested. While higher intensity development on the site is allowable under the standards of the urban core district, the proposal should be massed appropriately to be compatible with the surrounding neighborhood. As such, the applicant should consider additional smaller building block elements, example townhomes, low-rise apartment style, particularly on Teller Street and East Woodruff Avenue frontages, east of Pearl Street. Staff continues to be supportive of the building being taller along North High Street to provide relief on the east and southeast elevations. Got more renders. The rooftop terrace that was added. Another corner. Okay, and he actually used the perfect elevations. Further, the plan recommends preservation of contributing structures. 2 other buildings on the site are potentially contributing. As previously stated, staff encourages the applicant to explore an alternate proposal that would preserve and incorporate the building at 47 East Frambies. Staff could support the demolition of the original Ohio Stater building if the proposal exhibits a high level of site and building design, utilizes quality materials, and is compatible with the surrounding neighborhood. The proposal should also include an element in the overall design that pays homage to the original Ohio Stater building, such as a plaque in the retail plaza, mural, etc. Staff would request a HAB site report for the original Ohio Stater building. Additionally, the University District Plan recommends the inclusion of public spaces and landscaping as part of projects. As such, in addition to the proposed retail plaza, staff encourages the applicant to consider a modified site plan that includes publicly accessible green space as part of the overall design. Street trees should also be included in consultation with the city forester. Finally, staff notes that the University District Plan includes specific recommendations regarding building and site design, materials, lighting, landscaping, public art, rooftop uses, and parking the applicant should review and take into consideration as the design continues to develop. There is no staff recommendation as this is a conceptual review. 2 notes to make. I have comments from Ryan and Lori that I will read at the end once you guys are done. Just got their feedback on this application. The other thing staff wanted to note is, although there were some changes from the last hearing in this, it was minor changes. And so we just recommend that you guys give honest and feedback to them so that they can move along with the project. So constructive feedback would be great. So that's that. And I believe that is from the zoning. Yep. Yep.
Done? I need to swear on whoever would like to add commentary. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
We do.
Very good. Would you like to have any additions to the city's overview of the project?
Yes, that'd be great. So we've made some pretty significant changes from the prior version. So we should walk through those, particularly Board Member Parker. We also fragmented the retail. So that was something very important. And I know that that was a critical item. So you'll see it's about roughly 4,000 to 5,000 square feet of retail, but it's all fragmented in 1,000, 400, 1,000, such that to give that flexibility to that user. So we wanted to just mention that.
Thank you.
Because that was super critical. Number two, we also did add townhomes. And they're 3-bedroom townhomes. So, and they are, with entrance on Tuller. And we did that really to add some variety to the unit mix, and also make that compatible to the neighborhood group, right? Or to the neighborhood adjacent to it. And so those are the two primary. I'll then turn it over to Mr. Mohammed, and he'll give additional color.
Yeah, happy to do that. If we could go, we can skip the first few slides. This was actually the presentation that we prepared for today, but we can go ahead and start from the floor plans on page 6. Last time when we met, we didn't really have the full floor plans. We had a site plan. We've since been able to really refine it and develop it further. Francisco mentioned the townhomes on Tuller. You can see them here in blue. Initially, we had parking that extended all the way to the edge of our property. We had some discussions about the importance of that northeast corner and the connection that it provides to East Lane and some of the commercial and active use that we have. And so we've kind of, really reconfigured some of the program there to celebrate that entry point as well. Francisco mentioned also the retail and providing opportunities for it to be, demised into smaller commercial suites. It's now shown kind of in that purple color at the top left corner of the plan. We are working through some analysis and study to provide convenient connection between the parking and the sidewalk at that area. And the idea is that the commercial here is going to be active, and it's going to tie into the ground level program that we're proposing for the amenities for the residential, so that entire frontage along North High becomes a very active and transparent and connected to the sidewalks. The next slide shows kind of where we were last in January when we presented. That's a snip from the plan here on the right side of what we had initially laid out, and you can see it was all parking all the way to the edge of Tuller. It had a utility closet kind of at the corner, and I think the discussion we had really kind of had us go back and take another look at, that side of the building doesn't have to be the back side of the building. There's a lot of discussions about the single family that we have across the street on Tuller, and how do we interact with that? How do we celebrate it instead of coming and turning our back on it and basically building a parking that, sits right at the edge of the street, right? So that I think that really improved that connection back to the neighborhood, improved that, provided a more celebrated entry point and a connection back to East Lane. Aside from that, we kind of worked on configuring our amenities. We pushed the trash further to the north side of the building, but to the middle of it as opposed to the corners. And I think that really give us kind of another front, and we'll look at some of the renderings to see how that really improved the aesthetics of the project at the back. The next slide, we start to get into, this is actually a basement level too. We do have a basement level for the parking that's going to be mostly subterranean. We're entering into it from the north and the south from Woodruff. We had in the site plan previously, we showed an entry into the deck coming from Tuller as well, but we've since removed that. And so you can kind of see the entries coming in from the top and bottom there. So that's basement level. Next level is the first elevated level above grade. You can see where we talked about amenities for the residents at that corner, connectivity to the courtyards that we have. We're looking for opportunities to create terraces along the perimeter. We've got, it currently as shown in the plan, has had that connection kind of at the south edge of the courtyard, but we're actually looking to create that terrace connection and move it further to the outside corner of North High and Woodruff. And I think that will help activate that outside edge of the building. And then you can start to see obviously the typical residential layout here, where we start to pick up the units. We've got 3 courtyards here on that level. As you can see there, they're all going to be accessible. They're going to have different functions. Obviously, the pool one becomes kind of the focal point. It's the larger one. It's the one that that will have a connection, direct connection to a lot of the indoor amenities for the project. The other two courtyards are intended to be a little bit quieter. Next level gets into the typical residential layout. We've got a little bit of study space at the bottom left corner there, but it's fairly typical in terms of the configuration here, double loaded corridors all the way through. And then the next level is level 6, and this is where we've done I think a much better job at setting back, if I could say so, a much better job setting back the building on the east side to break the scale across the street from the single family houses. So we have now proposing 2 levels of step back at the top of the building that are stepping back a little bit over 25 feet compared to what we had shown you before. And we'll look at the comparison. So this is level 6 here, and then level 7 next slide shows the setback as well. So on this highlighted diagram here, that shows kind of previously when we came and presented to you, we had a 10-foot step back on the east side only at level 7, and we're now talking about 25, 26 feet on level 6 and 7. So it makes a big difference from a vantage point of a pedestrian on the street. Especially the street is not really wide. So in order to really start to see level 6 and 7, you have to be standing fairly far from the building for that to start to come into your view. The next slide shows the sections. And so you can see the right side, the 10-foot, just the top level versus the 2 levels setting back 25 plus. That's the section cutting there. You can see it on the key plan cutting right at Tuller Street. Next slide's got some renderings, and apologies, they're a little darker on the screen here. This camera is kind of sitting a little bit higher just to give you an overview of the building. And the 2 levels at the back that you're seeing here, you know, they're in the next slide, they're kind of half-toned so that you can really get the perception from the street. In order to see these 2 top levels, you have to be standing really far. And so we wanted to kind of highlight that. And then the next slide shows kind of a vignette of this is really what it should feel like when you're crossing the street or standing along Tiller Street. You can see the first 5 levels, but the 2 top levels, 6 and 7, really get diminished a good bit. So that's what you're seeing here. A couple of precedent images, we included those with the submittal that we made last month. You can start to see some of the references that we have looked at in terms of design and articulation and detailing along the street edge with these recessed entries to the townhomes. It just adds a lot of excitement along the street edge, so it doesn't feel like it's a repetitive and a long run of a building. Mm-hmm. This here is the northwest corner of the building. So you can see the existing commercial that we have at the outside corner of the site, and then how our building is designed and articulated. And the next, this one and the next couple of images really start to show, when we came in January, we showed you a lot of analysis of how we interpreted the zoning ordinance in terms of the modules and the base and the middle and the cap. But we had talked about, well, that's great, but we need to see how does that really kind of get applied on the building. And so we took some of the analysis and the understanding from the ordinance, and we start to apply it to the overall building. And so like this is the North High facade here, and you can kind of see it feels like it's 3 different buildings, or they're 3 different languages. They're connected with some recesses, and we're looking to break the parapet heights so that we can kind of emphasize that break and the separation. We've got terraces up high on one side of the building. We're contemplating, does that go here or does it go on the outside corner? So on the right side of the facade on North High, it might actually have better impact there. And so we're studying that more, taking in consideration views out of that terraces up high in the building. The ground level, you can see transparency, glass, 100% of that ground level fronting North High is going to be active use, whether it's commercial or amenities. It's going to have very high level of transparency and glazing. And then the next level above it as well, it's got a lot of glass. That's where we've shown on the first elevated level that we have additional amenities and study areas and potentially capturing some outdoor terraces along that edge to, activate the street and kind of strengthen that connection to the sidewalks. That's kind of a straight on shot, just showing the articulation and the change in architecture as we work around the building at that taller portion of the site. I think last time we met, Francisco mentioned the public realm and the emphasis that we put on the public realm, and where we touched the sidewalks. And so these are some of the precedents that we're hoping in the coming weeks. We're gonna really zero in on what happens right at the edge of North High. We really like the layering that some of these images are showing us in terms of the commercial doesn't have to be conditioned all the way to the edge of the street. It could have opportunities for outdoor seating, could have double skin in a sense. So when the weather is nice, it could, you can open up to give the perception of an even deeper sidewalk and more activity along the edge. These here are just the 2D elevations. Sometimes those help with scale. So this is the North High up at the top, and then Woodruff at the bottom, the south elevation. On the next page, you'll see Tuller, where we've added that base. So this is kind of designed for those 2 stories to kind of feel like they belong together. It's the 2-story townhomes there that we have accessible directly from the street along the sidewalks. And then the elevation at the bottom, the north elevation on Framby's, this one here, I think this is one where we have the most not exposed, but the most screened parking that we have on the development. We've broke it up in along the 3 other sides, and so we're starting to think about opportunities for art, opportunities for screening. We don't want this to feel like you're looking straight into a parking deck, or we want to really celebrate it more. So the next couple of slides are some precedents that we've started to gather to really start to think about where does it make sense to have these place-focused murals on the wall. I think along the parking is a great place. Along stairs or utility areas is going to be a great place for those. We're not representing those on the massing just yet, but we are definitely looking for opportunities and appreciate any input you have in terms of where that would make sense and give us the most value. The screen, again, on the parking, we want it to feel more like art along the edge of the street and less like a parking screen. And so it's what you're seeing, some precedents here. And then again, this is just kind of looking at the glow. We're thinking about sizing of windows, especially along North High, not only at the ground, but on the elevated levels as well. And so you can kind of see at night, we're hoping this will kind of glow and really be a great addition to the city. With that, we're happy to take any questions or get into more specifics and details on what we've changed between our January meeting and today.
Thank you very much. You've been busy.
Thank you.
We've been very busy, and there's one element that, we heard you loud and clear from each of the board members, came the direction to look at potentially on North High, maybe moving from stick and going to light gauge or PT. We did do that analysis, and we can provide that to the board members and showing the schedule of values flows. And it is a very dramatic increase in pricing, in construction pricing, such that we can't make it pencil. So we're happy to show you that data, and it was just astronomical. So we've been busy. You're right, Councilmember Reed. Board Member Reed.
Your architects want to start?
Sure. I think for me, the biggest issue is while I appreciate this, it's stepping down in the east, I wish it stepped down more to really address the neighborhood scale, because as the guidelines state, I think anything over 3 stories has to step back 20 feet, and now it's over 5 stories and it's stepping back 26.
Mm-hmm.
So I wish it stepped back earlier, and I wish you could take the lost square footage and put it on High Street. And I know that speaks directly to the type of construction that you were just talking about, but I think you're on High Street, you have about what I think is half the allowable height per zoning. And to me, it feels like a huge missed opportunity. It doesn't feel like the highest and best use of the site not to have more stories along High Street. And I really appreciate your design consideration and extreme thoughtfulness. And I wish I could move this building to a different portion of the city, but along High Street, it just doesn't feel right to me. My thoughts.
Keone?
Trying to look, because I missed, this came up in January, was it?
January, February.
Written comments.
Yeah, I wasn't around, but I'm trying to look in, for comparison's sake, to see what the January one looked like. So I guess that's my way of saying I'm going to defer my comments while I try and look at the
Okay.
previous submission.
Well, I'll lean heavily on the architects. I think my primary comment, I like the articulation along High Street a lot, height aside. This elevation, I think this is a huge step in the right direction. My only comment is I wish that whether it's 3 stories, 5 stories, that reads as a totally separate building. I think that what, as an example, I think it was the building at King and High, and it was based on an existing, not townhome, but kind of what were those buildings? They had like a mansard roof and stuff, but they basically reconstructed and I think it was fairly successfully done. So the point is that
I disagree.
well, okay, but it was a nod in the right direction. Can you give me that much? Regardless.
It was a nod.
Regardless, I think this, independent of height, again, whether it's 3, 5, whatever, if it really read like a different building, I think it would be more successful on this elevation.
Like it looked, or townhomes.
Yeah,
stuck on.
literally, it looks like a separate building.
Yeah. Can see that.
And I like what you've done, or at least the direction you're heading with respect to screening, public art. I'm curious, Steph, or anyone else, how do murals fare in the, I mean, they get vandalized a lot, or I know there's spray you can put on them to get it off more easily, but are they subject to a lot of,
I haven't had anyone contact us, like,
About
Okay.
in my time staffing the board about any
vandalism.
vandalism or any issues with.
Okay, that's good.
color.
Probably, I mean, it's a public site, it's less likely.
Yeah,
If you look at the bridge under Indianola and Glen Echo,
Yeah.
because that's a remote site.
tagged heavily?
Yeah. I mean, I think that site, it's probably fine. I can't find it. Do me a favor, if y'all don't mind, can you pull up the January submission? I'm just trying to, because I missed January, I'm just kind of curious what the changes were more contextually in the context of the actual report. Okay, keep going.
It was a much earlier stage. So like really the massing,
It's
the
on.
massing diagrams there was kind of like how we've articulated the building. And
Right.
we heard kind of loud and clear that this extruded approach to the site is not gonna cut it. And so with this round, we've not only did the step backs, but we've kind of introduced a lot of insets so that the parapet line starts to go in and out along the perimeter.
Do you mind scrolling down through it, Nadine?
Yes, give me 1 second. There's nothing here, but
That was pretty much it. It was.
Oh, there was-
Mostly just a massing.
Yeah,
diagram.
that's-
Oh, there wasn't even like, because I'm looking at, I was thinking about the floor plans and the change they made to
it's all mostly here.
to face the building and not put a parking garage on the east side. I mean, it's a good change on Tuller. It's a good change, but it wasn't really reflected even in that earlier version.
It was mostly,
like-
the blue dashed highlight there,
Yeah,
kind
okay.
of indicating the extent of the parking at the ground level.
I mean, in general, I would say the proposal seems reasonable. I think the massing is reasonable for the site. I think stepping the building back off of Tuller, I think is responsive to the adjacent context. I mean, the basic issue you have is, as you said, wood light frame is cheap. And so everyone is going to do a concrete podium and 5 stories of wood. The challenge with that is you get a big, you've got a block size building and it's a big thing. And then you need to figure out how to make it, I think two things. One, make it look less like a gargantuan, undifferentiated building. And then maybe two, not just aesthetics, how to activate it more. So I think laminating the townhouses on taller is a good start because you'll have people coming off the entrances. And I think the elevator lobby at the northeast corner will help because it'll activate the corner and you'll have people going in and out. I think the indents help. I think a good suggestion was raised about maybe if you're indenting on taller, there's a way of starting to break up the mass more through changes in materials. Like currently your material palette is basically cream brick, dark gray fiber cement, and light gray fiber cement. And I don't know if there's a way of thinking about how you deploy the materials and whether there are three or more than three to sort of somehow differentiate the building.
I would give them 4, but I wouldn't go past 4.
Yeah, it's sort of
I think my issue on the elevations is, or on any of these 3D images, is that there's not much character to the building. Like on these elevations specifically, I can't tell which is which. Other than your new east elevation, which is really nice. That one is my favorite because it's the most composed. The other ones just kind of feel like I applied some stuff here, I applied some stuff here.
because it's
And I-
three materials and two
Yeah.
windows.
And also, well, I do think they've been really faithful to the guidelines, and it's like maybe at some point we not follow those guidelines in pursuit of character. I think you can break free of it and create something special, and not necessarily be so slavish to what's in the UIDRB
Which
guidelines.
guidelines?
They reference them in there. There's like design.
Oh, that's
Articulation and
that's zone in. That's the
Yeah.
that's the stuff at the back of the submittal. That-
Definitely feel free to ignore that.
Well, in a design review district, it is kind of like the UIDRB recommendations kind of overlay the code requirements.
Mhm.
So we do have to find a way to marry them and not just satisfy the code.
But going back to what Keone is saying, if it's a 4th material, it's a 5th material, anything to really give a little bit more character and warmth, because I think it's a little cold right now.
Yeah.
And something that may not be showing up is that your press images have a lot of good detail, and that's really hard to convey in the images that you're showing currently and the scale of the elevations that you're showing. I think if it got built out like that, it would be wonderful, but I don't know, you may want to consider how you're going to convey that in these materials going forward once you're beyond the conceptual stage.
Yeah.
That 9th in high building that we reviewed, the mass timber one, maybe you could get the application from them. Did a really good job of trying to express those details and show close-ups of the brickwork and how it relates to the street and the human scale. Yeah, I'll stop talking.
I think my only other comment, and I know why this would be a no, is if you go to the plan, one of the illustrative plans, any one of those will work. That should go down, scroll down some more, maybe. So that one's fine. So I know why you've got units facing north and south off the 2 courtyards. The only concern I have is those are getting so small with is that a 7-story there? They're just going to be really dark. And to Daniel's point, I wish there was a place you could pop up to make up the units, because that would be a much more pleasant courtyard if that were 1 courtyard instead of 2. So I'm just concerned if you do a shadow study, it's going to be dark a lot of the year. I mean, so it's just, I mean, it's great to have it, so no argument there, but I think it would be much more impactful if it were 1 contiguous courtyard. But I understand that, what that means, so. We've been sucking all the air out of the room
Yeah.
from this side of the.
I think the changes are very thoughtful and responsive. I was glad when you just brought up the east side again after Daniel, you mentioned it. You're right. Yeah.
That's a compelling elevation, I have to say.
I think from
No, go for it. Yeah.
From a materiality standpoint, something even as simple or subtle as, maybe the townhome portion of the development gets a different color of brick.
Yeah, I think that's what Kenny was saying.
Then all of a sudden the character starts to change a little bit, and then I agree, like when you get into the details, when you get into the lighting, when you get into like just some subtle texturing of the masonry at that base, especially where we know at the townhomes there are going to be people right there, right against the building. It's even more of a pedestrian scale than the front, where you've got the larger street and the larger commercial spaces. So maybe thinking through that, I like, yeah.
I'm going to give you something to put a little mileage against your developer because your building is mostly fiber cement. It's mostly fiber cement because fiber cement is cheaper than brick. You need more brick. So I think the portion of the project that's in brick, you've included some details that show how the brick is treated, and the proposing some sort of, course, is extruding with the kind of horizontal lines gives it a level of detail and a little bit of warmth that is otherwise missing. And you all know there's only so much you can do with fiber cement. You can paint it and you can put in reveals. And I get it, it's cheap, it pencils out with a pro forma. I'm not here to make the pro forma work. What I am here is to make requests that give you a chance to make a better building for the city. So on that note, more brick, and use your clear abilities to kind of detail the brick in an interesting way. I think the backside where facing Tuller, instead of 2 floors of brick and 3 of fiber cement, maybe it's 5 of brick. Maybe the brick's different than the sandy brick, so your developer's not saving money by buying 1 brick, and it'll start to get this thing to be a little more interesting, a little more varied, and a little bit more in the scale of the neighborhood.
Appreciate that.
I was going to say that I saw that you had added a rooftop patio, which I thought was a great addition. I could see that being rented out quite a bit, depending on how you have that. So I thought that was really nice to draw your eye up. That's kind of exactly what I did. I went straight to that. So I really enjoyed that. I also love the fact that you did take some time to provide a little bit of landscaping to give some visual interest as to what that would look like. I really do hope that that is what you bring with, the areas for people to kind of congregate in. Having the apartments on that one side, if you could go to that real quick. The townhomes, I think is what you called them. So this, I'd love to see a little bit more as to, yeah. I think that this is a great idea. I think if you had tenants that were like, this is where I live, I think it could be really elevated. I would not sleep on like the little details of why somebody would rent that. So then that way people respect the space, and people are going to respect the space if they think that it deserves that. So, I love that you had the double windows. The windows were nice and large on the first floor, which I really liked. Also on the second, all the way up, it looked like you had nice big windows, which was great. I do agree with what Carrie had mentioned about the courtyards maybe being shaded. So what your thoughts are on that? Because if you are taking away that space, like the board had mentioned, having an outdoor space where the public could kind of go and access, if you don't really have that, if you're only putting that really inside, putting a lot of effort into the exterior of the building, I think is going to go a long way. And I applaud you for trying to talk about the different ways of the screening for the parking garage. I know that was something that I mentioned last time. So I really thank you for that. The public art on the exterior of the building, I really appreciate you mentioning that was something that you wanted. If you drive in the Short North, you'll see that there is a lot of public art, and it isn't vandalized. They're mostly vandalizing the empty spaces and the empty windows. But there's a spot right next to Jenny's that I don't think has been vandalized since it's been there. So, and as someone who really appreciates artists, I think it is important for us to continue to do it regardless of whether people are vandalizing it, because there are other people who enjoy it. So the brick is not really something that I have a lot of comment on. I don't really have a lot of comment on that. So far, I think that this is a really great step in the right direction. The examples that you provided of those different buildings, you know, with the garage doors and the owners of the businesses being able to use exterior space, I know is great. I have a clothing store right next door to me, and he's always trying to put shopping racks out on the sidewalk, and it just doesn't make a lot of sense. But he really wants to try and bring that foot traffic in. So I think if you could figure out ways to do that, that would be lovely as well. So yeah, I think that this is a really great start, and I appreciate your effort in this. Thank you.
Thank you for remembering. Thank you.
I do have
Any additional comments, too?
I would only just add I like the color scheme that you have going here. The examples of murals that you showed seemed potentially to be a little jarring and maybe
Do you want to pull that up?
a little too popish for what you're doing with the rest of the building. So I hope that those are carefully chosen. And I do believe that you know, if it kind of works both ways. They help activate an area, and if you have activated the area, then you've discouraged vandalism. So I encourage you to.
When you say jarring, are you talking about the colors or the fact that it's like a collage in some of these?
I guess I could use some. I think the building there's a certain sedate is the wrong word and sounds negative, and I don't mean it that way at all. I think that there's certain dignity to the design of the building that I hope the public art will continue. It has something to do with possibly with a little simpler imagery.
Like the picture
Something
in the left.
bold, but I'm a little disturbed by the very busy collage examples that you showed.
That
Not,
doesn't-
you know, collage style.
That doesn't scare
examples.
me. I'm just going to say that for my record. That doesn't scare me, but yeah, art is subjective. So
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And I don't think we can choose what the public art is, right? It's just a matter that they would use that as a space for public art.
Yeah, generally what you're gonna see on like when they come for action is just gonna be like a space blocked off that says, here's where the art will go.
Yeah, right.
Only a matter of encouraging you.
Yeah. Word.
One last comment. I think similarly, bigger windows and more types. Your developer's trying to save money. They're cheap. I think if you improve the glazing ratio, you get a more gracious building. And I think if you have more sizes, it'll also help in terms of giving it some distinction.
That'll bring it closer to your precedent imagery too.
Yeah, yeah. And some of the early analysis when we kind of zoomed in onto the different modules and tried to vary, like I think we some of it may have, when you apply that on the full building, some of it starts to get lost, and just going back and understanding what material gets what type of window, what size of window,
Yeah.
we start to create a pattern or a language that we
Good
can
idea.
take around the building.
So while you're on this image here, if I'm not mistaken, the building, I think the module on the south, that's the only place that you have exterior patios that are associated with a unit. Is that correct, or am I incorrect about that?
That is correct. Currently, that's where aside from the big terrace that's going to
Yeah,
be
on the roof.
accessible for everybody. Yeah, those would be, we felt this was kind of a moment at the outside corner that could be really unique. And so give that unit the ability to have a balcony.
I'm just curious, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong. Have you considered doing that elsewhere? I mean, is it recognizing that if they don't stick out, they're eating up usable square footage on the interior of the unit? So
Yeah, a lot of times, and Francisco, we want to talk about that too. Like with student housing, there is desire to do less of the balconies than more of them.
concerned about things being thrown off a balcony?
Didn't want to say that, but yeah.
Many a time.
So this one here being kind of a visible corner, and it's got a lot of eyes on it. We felt maybe that's a good opportunity where you could do it. You can certainly look for.
I'm not suggesting, I just was curious. I just want to make sure that I understood that this was the only, because I think for this one piece, that
It makes
looks
the
quite
corner.
attractive.
It makes it it makes the corner a little bit unique. It gives it its own character, and there might be opportunity on an opposite corner to do something like that. We've done a smaller prefab balconies that I think would work really well with this style.
And it doesn't even have to be at every floor. I mean, it might be that there's one floor on the
Yeah.
top of the corner that gets something. I think
Yeah.
that's what Joe did on the building that I think actually turned out nicely at 8th and High. And
Oh.
I
Yeah,
think
you
there's
don't-
one unique kind of corner on that.
You know why?
No.
Because that's not aimed at students.
Okay.
Yeah, right, that's Ryan's building.
And then I can't, was it asked whether affordable housing would also be incorporated into, I felt like that was asked last time. Do you know?
We talked about that last time.
Do you know if any of these units will be open for affordable housing?
Board Member Parker, we're actually exploring that right now. We're talking.
Okay, thank you.
If everyone else is done with comments, I have two.
Go for it.
Okay.
So I'll read them into the record. So the first one is from Lori. She said, in general, I am in support of the proposal. Our last meeting recommended that the design team be respectful of the residential neighborhood to the east and to some respects along Granby's. I appreciate acknowledgement of the residential neighborhood by designing residential units along Teller and reducing the mass to 5 levels. I encourage further aesthetic development of the east-facing facade to break up bulk and height of the building along Teller. The courtyards were not revised from the last scheme and question the effectiveness in its current configuration. Would like a better understanding of how the plazas might be used in their configuration. The present imagery is compelling, but I do not see a direct correlation. Encourage the team to continue to develop the north and west facades. I understand some of the articulation being suggested, but the overall appearance still appears bulky and the idea is not clear. Some editing might be necessary. There does not appear to be much development from the last time we saw the project. The southwest corner facade is more successful in its articulation. The rendering helps to sell the idea. And then I have comments from Ryan. He said, while I believe the developer has made some progress consistent with what the staff report states, there are still significant issues with the elevations on Woodruff, Teller, and Framby's. The building still reads as a big box with little relief and very plain window pattern. The architect needs to do more to break up the building mass. I am not opposed to all the height, and I'm okay with the step back to 5 stories at Teller. I do have concern with the size of the courtyards with 6 stories of units around a very narrow courtyard. While there will be more detail needed for the High Street elevation, I believe it is headed in the right direction and engages the street appropriately. It will be tough for the developer to keep the bed count without going higher at High Street in order to allow for flexibility and breaking up the monotony of the other elevations. And that is all.
Okay.
Any questions?
Super helpful. We really appreciate the time today and all the feedback. We're going to incorporate it.
I appreciate the progress. I think you
Yeah.
guys have made a lot of progress since you were here last.
You know
Significant.
what you're doing. I think use our comments as leverage against your client.
We're having to be best friends, so.
That's great. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
It's very helpful.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Super helpful.
Thank you.
And thank you, and welcome to the team. Super
Oh,
happy that you're on.
thank you. I've been around. I just haven't been here.
Oh, sorry.
I love it.
All right. Well, I am ready for you guys for the, how do I get this to go back?
Staff approvals.
Yes, if I can, how do I stop it?
On that subject, I have to say I did really appreciate the vegan banner that's going up right by Mickey D's.
It's always there, by the way.
I'm rarely in that section of High Street.
Always a PETA banner.
It is.
Oh, it is?
Sometimes, yes, like sometimes someone will sneak in and get another banner in there for a little bit.
Does it change
Then it
out?
goes back. It's,
Several times a year.
yeah, PETA comes back a lot. They get more creative each time. It's actually quite funny.
Yeah, I thought that was good.
Anyways, all right, staff approved cases. Everyone got a chance to look at everything. Everything looked good.
We need to approve that, then we have to call the roll.
Correct.
Someone want to make a motion to approve
would
staff
like a motion.
approvals? Since I'm not supposed to,
I'll make a motion to approve.
and I will second.
All right. Mr. Fleming,
Yeah.
Ms. Parker,
Yes.
Mr. Reeves,
Yes.
Mr. Sublett,
Yes.
Mr. Mather.
Yes.
Perfect. They have been adopted into the record. And meeting
5:30.
is meeting adjourned.
I believe it is.
All right, I will stop recording.